Hello to all the comic fans, Marvel geeks, and all the nerds in between. Today we are going to break down the second episode of What If Season 3. And when I say we, I mean myself, Megan Nicole from Vigilante Vibes Podcast, and LJ from Bleeding Rainbow Comics.
Hello. I have
We
a
are
dog
back.
at my feet.
Some people just really have it all, you know. We are back to review What If Season 3, Episode 2, titled What If Agatha Went to Hollywood. To break down the episode rather quickly, the Watcher reveals that Agatha became an actress in his alternate reality during the Hollywood's Golden Age. Starring in a picture directed by Howard Stark, Agatha's true purpose is to enact a magical ritual to siphon the powers of Tiamat. Is it Tiamat?
Yes.
I've never said the name out loud, so I don't know. The celestial buried in the Earth's core. Agatha has Howard cast Kingo, the final Eternal she needs for her spell to work, as she's already subdued and taken the rest of the Eternal's powers, which is just so Agatha.
Yes. I'm surprised she saved Kingo for last, but I'm glad she did. That way he could be in this episode.
I won't lie, I would have liked to see her and Athena go at it, though.
I don't know, because the first episode of What If, my biggest complaint was half of the episode was exposition. Mm-hmm. And so I would have liked to see in this episode, had I not been scarred from the previous one, at least just a quick flashback of like 2 seconds of each of her taking down each of the Eternals. I think that would have been cool. I just don't think they had time for it. But no, I would have loved to see her show down on all of them. Also, I would like to shout out this episode, we got people using powers.
Oh, thank God. It felt right.
Well, I was so worried. I was like, okay, are we about to have an Agatha Harkness episode with Kingo? And again, we're not going to show any powers or anything. And then pleasantly surprised. And then they started dance fighting, and that was pretty cool. I was a little thrown off at first at the dance battle aspect of it, and then I saw where they were going with it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm in. You reeled me.
The dance fighting, I have opinions on that part. But following a full dance number showdown, Kingo reveals he knows what Agatha is really up to, but ultimately convinced to help Agatha, who pretends her motives are altruistic, with the desire to save the world. She also agrees to release Kingo's fellow Eternals once the ritual is complete, and a 3-picture deal. Amazing.
It's because she's so selfless.
She's so selfless. She's always thinking of others.
That's why I'm in her coven.
I missed that. Witnessing Kingo's betrayal, Arishem starts heading for Earth to destroy the planet, which motivates Agatha and Kingo to enact their required ritual immediately. With Howard and Jarvis's help, Agatha successfully takes Kingo's power, allowing her to siphon Tiamat's and become a brand new Celestial. After defeating Arishem, the true third act twist is Kingo successfully convincing Agatha to give up to instead embrace the magic of movie making, a means for her to finally be loved and adored. Becoming partners, Agatha and Kingo become a major new Hollywood acting duo. However, the episode does end on a cliffhanger, teasing more Celestials are on the way, responding to Arishem's defeat.
And I am all for them bringing everything from this back into a future episode. I'm hoping that that's where they're going with it and that they're not just going to leave it. But you never know.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like What If should have a lot to do with Celestials because we don't see them. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think What If should be used to tell the stories that we're not going to get in the MCU, or to elaborate more on the stories, because we're never going to get Eternals 2, unfortunately, because that movie was awesome for me anyways.
I liked it.
I was really afraid that we wouldn't be able to see more of any of them, so to bring Kingo back in some form, I'm happy with. I think Kumail Nanjiani deserves some justice.
I do think we'll see the Eternals separately in other places. Like, I do think Kingo's just going to kind of show up one day. Athena, probably not, but, you know, just like one after another, they'll little tiny roles,
Say, you
which
know how much they'd
good.
have to pay to get Thena back? Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's not happening. There's no
listen,
way.
give Angie the money. She's worth it.
She should just want to do it, honestly, but I guess that's just
She had a
me. I
good
would want to do.
character.
She's a really good character, and she did really well.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I thought all of the Eternals did really well. And to bring back, because we'll see what's in the future for Agatha Harkness. I know that they're working on an Agatha All Along / Wiccan season 2, but it's just not greenlit yet. It's in the
Yeah.
works, and so we'll see if we get it. So I'm interested. I will take any Agatha I can get. I will take any Kingo I can get. Um, and I think that this episode, given the setting of the episode, did a really good job at actually. The complaint again that I had about episode 1 was that you got to see their character. Um, and so I felt like I actually got time with Agatha. I got time with Kingo. Granted, like a 20-minute episode, but I didn't feel in the first episode that I got actual time with any of those characters. Like it didn't quite pay off. So
Yeah.
I'm pleasantly able to report that this episode was much better received by me. It took me a second to get used to it because I'm like, okay, old-timey Hollywood, Bollywood, okay, this is what would happen if we mix those two things. And so I had setting shock for a second. But then, like, after they started using their powers in the dance, I was like, okay, I understand the two worlds coming together. Like, this makes sense to me. It was also just because I'm sick and it's early. So maybe it just took me an extra second. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought this was a creative way to use What If. And not just because we got more Agatha Harkness, which I'm never going to complain about. But I could see Agatha doing this. I would like to see how she found out about the Celestial, but I guess when you're under time constraints, that's not really something you can show everything. And I think we got enough. But no, I just selfishly want more Agatha and backstory and to know every second of her life.
I think I liked this episode, but I do think the dance number went too long. I liked that it ended with them using powers, but I feel like they should have cut some of it off before because it's like I was watching, I was like, man, this is half the episode. Like I want to know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that it could have been a little bit shorter before they started using powers and getting to it. And I get what they were doing. If you use all of those assets to make those things, you're going to go for it. Although they didn't have to choreograph like 20 seconds of that. They could have saved a lot of animating. Because and I get what they were going with that. That was the peak of bringing these two cultural significant things together, culturally significant. But I wanted to get to the fighting. And then once the fighting did happen, I wanted more fighting. But it's okay because I got Grand Goddess Agatha at the end. So that's all I really needed. If that's the journey we took to get there, then again, no complaints. I really liked the power usage in this. I did like that Kingo was a little bit more than just shooting guns out of his hands, but I did like how self-aware the episode was and making fun of him for the little gun hands. But showing like he can make it a ball and control it and all of that good type of stuff. I would have liked to see a little bit more on the magic end, but I don't know. I got some glowy runes, so I guess that was good. It did pose the question for me, does that mean that Agatha doesn't just absorb magic, that she absorbs any powers? And if so, let's unpack that a little bit.
I think so. I took that as okay, so she can just absorb what hits her because
Yeah, which
that's what she
that
did.
wasn't that wasn't a thing until now. It was always she just absorbs magic, but I guess that's the only people she's been around to absorb. So that was my main question going out of it of, oh, is this a thing now? And can we use this going forward? Except now, spoilers for end of Agatha All Along season 1. That might be difficult. So, yeah, I guess also maybe because of the ending that they were like, well, we can do whatever we want with our powers because they're not really relevant now. So
That's true. And I think like sometimes they lean heavily into the what if aspect. So they're like, then no one can question it. It's what if. I mean, they're doing
yeah,
exactly what I would do, to be honest with you.
yeah. What if Agatha went to Hollywood? What if Kingo was the supreme eternal? What if Agatha could just absorb anything? We're doing a lot of what ifs today,
Yeah, I
and
also
I liked it.
liked seeing Jarvis and Howard Stark. That was I don't know why. I love Howard Stark's character. He's always just there, never doing science things. He's just doing what he wants to do that day.
I know. I want to see him do something like smart guy esque.
Yeah.
Like, as you can tell, I am not smart guy esque, or else I would not use that term. Um, but I would like to see him in the field a little bit. I like that he's just kind of like a smart guy, but Happy Hogan type figure who he's just there. Um, whew. All right. Uh, we're doing great.
Doing
But
great.
no, I enjoyed they had a clear focus this episode. They had a clear mission statement, and I think that again, this is an episode that will not be for everybody because not everybody is into like classic Hollywood and um, if you bring up classic Hollywood or anything behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, people typically don't respond well to that unless they're like industry nerds.
Yeah.
Um, so that works for me because I am one. But I don't think this is an episode that will be for everybody. I think that it was well constructed. I thought it was creative, and it gave us one hell of a new version of Agatha that I need a poster of, at least a wallpaper on my phone.
Oh my gosh, her as the Celestial was so beautiful, like insanely gorgeous, and I was just like, this is it. This is what if. It's beautiful.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw that was, man, they are never not trying to make Agatha inspired by drag queens, but
Dude,
because she
right?
was full force, and especially like her I was gonna say her hero get up, but she doesn't get one. Her villain get up, like her robe thing,
Yeah.
and like every look she's ever had is the most drag queen centric thing I've ever seen, and I am here for it. And all of the space glitter and the dark eyeshadow that was on fleek.
Yes. I loved the contrasting colors, the like dark purple with the bright white coming from her beautiful bright white hair. I was like, just make this a look forever because Agatha as a celestial, I didn't know I needed it in my soul until I saw it and I was like, that makes sense. Keep it there. Don't change that again. Bring that into the MCU. I need
I was
it.
about to say, can we just? I mean, Ghost Agatha can make herself look like that, right?
Yeah, it should,
Just
right?
borrow some of it. She's like, oh, I saw that show. Maybe I can. But I did like it because it had the celestial circles or the eternal circles in it too.
It
I thought it
did.
was neat, and I think that it was actually better realized than Ghost Agatha was. Like the concept art for Ghost Agatha was phenomenal, but I think the actual like I don't know. I think it was just her hair. I think that was my only like.
I
Let's
think
give it a zhuzh. Or
it did look rather flat and just like there was no body there and it's like come on, this is Agatha Harkness. She needs like you said the zhuzh.
yeah, her hair needs to be like floating around her and like she's just underwater.
Yeah, I am
But
curious what celestials we'll get next since it was alluded to and I want to know are are we going to see Agatha and Kingo again because like it felt kind of final to me but I could also see them using them again.
see, I the only experience that we can go off is what if season one, what if season two, and we know that there was a lot brought from the season to the finale. So I mean, I could see this coming back, but I don't think it needs to. Um, so it's once they made this episode, it's whether they want to bring it back or not. I could see them bringing it back and wanting to bring it back and setting it up to bring it back because I mean Agatha still has all of her cosmic power. I would assume she's just shrunk down. Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see this as one of those things that they would bring to the conclusion of the season.
Probably something. I have no idea where they're going with the season. And I like that. I like that I just don't know. I like the randomness. And so far it's
Yeah.
been
I
so
mean,
random.
I'm going to look at the previous episodes.
But like with the
Because
randomness,
when.
tomorrow is what if the Red Guardian stopped the Winter Soldier?
And I mean, I feel like they'll bring him back into it too. They are really leaning into Red Guardian.
Really are. I'm cool with that. I love Red Guardian. But my goodness
I'm cool with it
gracious.
too. I just need the Yelena of it all to balance them out.
Yeah, I don't need Melina. Just Yelena.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I guess because what I was looking up, I was going to see what episode they introduced Captain Carter in, but I guess it was the first episode.
Yeah, that
So,
was the very first one.
and then season 2, doing my on the fly research here. Season
It's nice that we haven't seen her yet, but I know she's coming here soon. I could feel it.
I just want Cohorty to come back.
I want Cohorty, man. I love her character. So much potential there.
I'm still waiting on her second issue for her comic to come out. Oh, someone's awake.
They never shut the fuck up anymore. They just never do. But yeah, I'm also waiting for that. I'm also waiting for that second issue because I really like the first, and I don't know if she's gonna get a second issue. It's rough out here. It's rough out here in these streets.
She'll get a second issue. They plan all that stuff in advance.
Let's hope.
You can always look up how many were ordered.
So, what are our grades for What If Season 3, Episode 2?
A hell of a lot higher than episode 1.
I
So
gave it a 5.5 yesterday.
let's see. I gotta rethink in the concept of what if. Where would this rank, and how would I rate it accordingly? I mean, I would say that this one would be one of the higher ones. Now, I know it won't be everybody's cup of tea, but I think it was constructed well. I think it was creative. They stuck to their mission statement, and it's the thing that was different about this one is it felt like a what if of the Marvel universe and not just trying to rip off other IPs. So I'm going to rate it. I should probably start with these numbers before we start recording. I'm going to give
It's
it
on
like...
the fly. It's real life.
You know what? I'm feeling generous. I'm going to give it an 8.
Ooh, I said a 7. Well, I didn't say it. I just now said it in my head. I said it in my head. It was a 7.
I said it to myself earlier.
It counts.
But I was in between like a 7.5 and an 8. But I'm gonna go with an 8, especially we're gonna reward good behavior. We went up from yesterday's episode. So
Well, I also think the thing about What If is like your grade will change as the show goes because you're like, oh, that does fit into there. So I
yeah, you
kind of
don't
like
know how anything pays off or what all is relevant and what all is gonna stay in the past. And
exactly. So
maybe on our final live we'll have to go through and see if any of our scores are adjusted.
true. Ah, I should start making a note of what they are actually. Let's see.
Get it, Megan?
I'm doing it right now.
What'd I give it yesterday? Like a negative 100?
You gave it a 5.5. Episode 1.
That sounds right.
5.5, and I gave it a 4. Episode 2, you said an 8.
Yes.
Okay, and I gave it a 7. Okay.
Well deserved. They put Agatha in the episode. Automatic at least 8.
I'm saying, like, she's such a damn good character. So,
Yeah.
that is our review. Stick around for this whole week as we review each and every episode of What If Season 3. Wherever you're watching this or listening to this episode, be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our reviews or all the exciting content in between. You can find me everywhere by searching Vigilante Vibes Podcast, or just make it easy and go to vigilantevibespodcast.com. LJ, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube. Just give a search for Bleeding Rainbow Comics. You can find me on Nerd Initiative doing random things. You can find me on Facebook for Bleeding Rainbow Comics. Just search in Bleeding Rainbow Comics and anything that has a weird little black and red rainbow cloud thing. That's me. But yeah, those are my two biggest spots. We also have Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, all of that jazz. But the big two, you start there and then you can trickle.
It's true. As LJ said, you can find both of us on nerdinitiative.com where we give our reviews for the latest movies, TVs, and comics. Thank you for tuning in. See you tomorrow. Have a marvelous day.